Hello everybody, welcome back to retail management class. So in previous class we have seen some of the positioning strategy of a retail outlet. So how we can place our retail outlet in a retail industry with the successful factor, how to become a successful and leading retailer in an industry. So using three different strategy that are differentiation strategy in product promotion, in price, and also about cost leadership strategy, so being reduced cost of production. And also we have seen the focus strategy or the niche market strategy. Okay, so in today's class let us have a discussion of service quality retailers. Okay, or the retail service quality management. We know that the quality, it's something like it's something like excellence. Okay, and it is very important for any factor, or for any business. Okay, suppose when we go to a shop, so if we want to purchase, before you purchase anything in a particular shop, what do we see? So we mainly see the quality, right? If the quality of that particular product is very good, then we will buy it. Suppose if the quality is not that up to the level, or if it is too bad, or if it is too poor in quality, so we won't buy it, right? So because we need to consume the product, so we always want the qualitative product. So what is this quality? So here quality is something like it's a kind of excellent, it's a kind of excellent, and it's a kind of standard. And in simply I can say it's it's free from the defects. Okay, it's free from all the defects or maybe the damaged one, right? Suppose if we buy a product, if it is damaged, we will replace it, and then we will not buy the product in that particular shop, right? Suppose if we go to a restaurant. Okay, so here if we go to a restaurant, like suppose if the food is very tasty, and if the service of that particular restaurant is very is very satisfied, so we are very happy with the service of that particular restaurant, like again we will visit again, right? So we will started to make that restaurant as our favorite restaurant. Why? Only because of the service of that particular restaurant and the quality of that particular restaurant. If the quality of that particular restaurant is very good, we will keep on go visiting the restaurant because of the the qualitative food what they serve, or the qualitative interaction, or the system or the standard what they maintain. Okay, how well they maintain the customer. Okay, while they are having the uh, conversation or the communication with the, or while they are handling the customer, the way of handling will be very good. Yes, so if that particular service is, the quality is very good, then we will keeps on visiting the restaurant. Okay, so here let us talk about the service quality, the retail service quality. Okay, so here that the service which we cannot see, we cannot we can only enjoy it, we can only feel it. So whereas in product retailing, we can see that we can touch the product, we can it has the physical structure. But in case of retail, the service retail, we won't have that the physical structure. It is purely based on the the mindset. It is purely based on the the behavior and the attitude, mainly the conversation between the customer and the employer, or maybe the employee of that particular company, right? So here service is matters, because the qualitative service of that particular retail is very good, then it leads to a successful retailing, right? Suppose if they are failed to provide a qualitative service, then it may get flop, right? So here always the customer, they expect the qualitative service or the good or maybe the excellent service, okay, the excellent or the high qualitative service from the retailer or maybe from the company, right? So when the company meets the customers expectations by providing the qualitative or the excellent service, then they'll be very happy and they can satisfy the customer too. Here the service quality which can help to differentiate itself from other competitors and help to gain a competitive advantage, right? And here the superior service quality, which is a key to improve profitability. So here the service of here the service quality, which is always mainly depend on the superior or the manager of that particular company or the retail outlet. Okay, so it's a key to improvement in their profitability. Here the services which are an important segment of all economies, and they become increasingly more a part of everyday life as economies develop. And here the consumer service is a key factor towards generating loyal retail customer, and ultimately the successful retail business. Yes, definitely here the consumer service, which is that the customer service also we can say here, it's a key factor, okay, because you need to satisfy the customer with a very good service, right? So when you satisfy the customer with when you have a very good service, when you provide very good service, then you will have a loyal retail customers for your shops again. They'll be visiting, they'll be happy to visit your shop and to buy the products from your shop. So and here again, the service quality which is defined, okay, it's defined uh, as an activity that supplements or that facilitates store sales. Okay, here the consumer service which includes like as a free parking facility or gift wrapping, environment and delivery, and additionally sales personnel offer consumer service through their interactions and relationship with the customer. Yes, so when we say quality, the service quality, which is mainly includes the free parking facility in their retailers outlet, or maybe the gift wrapping, how they make the wrapping, maybe the packaging I can say, or maybe the environment and the delivery of the particular retail outlet, delivery of the service. And additionally again the sales person or the salesman, okay, their interaction is very necessary. It matters a lot to build the relationship with the customer. And here again the nature and the extent of the service quality does depend upon the certain identifiable factors or dimensions which can be optimized with wise managerial judgment. Example, if you go to a retail shop, like restaurant, okay, let us take the restaurant. There you will see you are convenient there, right? If you do not have a proper facility of parking your vehicle, then you will never go, right? Because you need to park, you can't park your vehicle where and there, right? You need a free, that should be a free, right? So you don't want to pay again for that parking facility. It should be a free. Almost all the restaurant, almost all the retailers, they have a pre-parking facility only to attract the customer and to maintain the customers. Even even we can say that the quality is also matter of having a good free parking facility to the consumer or to the customer. And also let us see the some of the models of the retail service quality models. So here the most of the service quality models which suggest a multidimensional conceptualization of service quality, and that leads to the measurement of the service quality from a consumer perspective. And here we know that we can measure the service, the quality, only in point of consumer perspective, because it is all about the perception what they have, what the consumer or the customers have towards your shop or maybe towards your service, right? Only when they only when they give perception about only when they have a good opinion, okay, it is all the satisfaction, all the experience of your customers, okay, even through the experience, and they will uh, they will tell their opinion, right? So that is what your the quality of your service is determined or is measured, okay, and it is not about the perception of the service provider. Okay, so here the perception of the customer, which is a main factor to measure the service quality of your retail outlet. And here there is a need to have a clear understanding of the service quality models, because these models, they help managers to identify the quality problems, and which leads them to plan programs to improve the quality, which in turn it will lead to the better performance. Okay, so let us see the models one by one. So first, here we have three-dimensional model. Okay, here according to Latin and Latin components. Okay, here Latin components. This is also called three-dimensional compensation, three-dimensional service quality model. So here we have a three dimension, that is physical quality, corporate quality, and interactive quality. Okay, here the physical quality, it is the quality that results from the physical element of the service. Okay, here always the physical element will be attached with the service. Okay, and like example, that in restaurant, if you go to a restaurant, we always do prefer to have a tasty and tasty and healthy food, right? We all always expect and we want it, right? Suppose if the food is not good in that particular restaurant, just think that the the restaurant is very good, it is neat and it is hygiene, they're maintaining their hygiene, but the food is not good. Okay, the food what they serve, or what the quality of the food is not good, because we visit restaurant only to have food, right? Not to just enjoy, right? We just only visit only to have to taste the food, different the healthy food, right? So here the food is the physical element that we can just taste, and we can feel, we can see, it's a physical thing. So what if the food quality is not good? Then we never visit again, we never visit that particular restaurant. Okay, here this physical quality of the services also matter. So here talking about the physical quality, here the physical element will be always attached with the service. And again here it includes the physical products that are consumed during the service process. This is usually evaluated in an objective manner, and the physical support which aids the production of the service. Again, that if again taking the example of restaurant, again if you go to a McDonald's or a pizza restaurant, again what you will see, you will again you visit to taste the pizza, right? If the pizzas are very good, again you order, right? Yes or no? Suppose if you go to a Domino's, McDonald's, if you go to a Domino's, to taste the food, it tastes pizza, right? Suppose if you taste one pizza, again, if it is very tasty, if it is very good, then again you will order one more, right? So that is how it will increase the demand, it will increase the production of that particular the service of the of the product. right? So that is how the physical quality of the service is also a matter. We have interactive quality. So here interactive quality, it is totally depend on the interactions between the employees and the you know the service provider. Okay, so here this interactive quality, in the name itself we can make it interaction between the employers, interaction with the employees, what the customer is having the interaction with the employees. Suppose if if the behavior or the attitude of the retailer or the service provider is very good, again you visit. Let's take an example. If you go to a shop, to buy clothes, so what you will do suddenly, will when you enter into a shop, particular shop, like how they welcome you, a sales personnel, they'll just ask you, they'll just fish that, okay, hello sir or hello madam, welcome to this, and may I help you, what can I do for you sir or do for you ma'am. They will, that they will ask you in a polite way, right? They will not ask you in a harsh way that, sir, you come and you just take your product and you go. No, they will just, sir, just come and what can I do for you? And so here these are the sections of different clothes. So what you need, sir? They always, ask in a polite way, and with the very patiently listen all of your complaints, or all of your the interaction, right? They'll say yes or no. Yes. So that is how, so if you're very happy with your interaction, so you'll be happy, and again you'll get satisfied, you'll be satisfied, again you will, happy to visit next time. Suppose if that particular employee or the salesperson are not good, like they are very harsh, okay, and you will say that, okay, don't want to, you will, even if the products are very good also, you will not buy. You will say that, okay, let's move on to next shop, right? But if the service provider is very good, or if the personnel is very good, then even if the product is not good also, but because of their, the way they convince, the way they interact with us, that make us to feel happy also, that make us to feel satisfy ourselves also. So for that sake, we at least we will try, we will try to purchase a product, right? So that is how the interaction of the employee, or the interaction of that particular the service provider is also matter, the continuous communication or the interaction, okay, that will leads to build the customer relationship, and also that will lead to maintain the loyal customer, or the customer loyalty. Okay, even that is also a matter. Talking about the corporate quality, so here corporate quality is something like, it is mainly depend on the image and the historical background of the particular organization. Okay, so here we feel that the quality of that particular organization, or the quality of that particular service is good, only because of we feel that it has a very good background of the company, or it has a very good image. Like, for example, again taking the rest taking the example of Reliance industry. Okay, here we know that Reliance is a very it's a old company. It has a very big, good background, historical background, and it has a very good share prices, market share in the in the market. So we always feel that if we buy any product or the service from the Reliance, it will be good, it will be qualitative one. So why? Because we feel that it's a topmost company, right? And it is not only about the Reliance, it is like in other companies like ITC, or maybe uh, the restaurants like McDonald's, or you know any other service industry. Okay, so here we mainly feel because of the historical background. Okay, even taking the example of computer like Dell, or Lenovo, or smartphone companies like Samsung or Apple. Okay, so we feel that, like taking the example of Apple company, so we feel that Apple is a company which has a historical background, a good historical background, I know, which has a good image, okay, which is a popular in the business world. So we feel that whatever the quality we get from that particular company, it will be good. That is how the image or the goodwill of the company, which which affect, which influence the minds of the consumer to receive or to buy their products. Okay, that is how these three dimensions, which leads to the service quality of the retailer. Okay, so this is also one of the model which help the manager to identify and to deal with the customers. The North American school model, which is also known as GAP model. So here this GAP model is developed in the year 1985, then later onwards, which is modified in the year 1988, 1991, and 1994. And this is basically called gap model. Why? Because we can find the gap between the customer expectations and the service provider expectations, right? So here the here the service provider, the retailer, who might set some standard, who might have the different expectations. Okay, but there he should, he has to meet the customer expectations. Then suppose if he doesn't, if he fail to meet the customer expectations, then there will be a gap, right? So here that gap has to be identified. That means a customer expectations, you need to understand as a retailer, you need to understand the demand, you need to understand the needs of the consumer, of the customer, so that you can easily meet their expectations. Okay, and here there are five gap that has to be identified. In that, first gap is different between consumer expectations and management perception. Okay, so here they can say customer expectations versus management perception. Okay, here the gap will be arise between customer expectations and management perception. So here gap between consumer expectation and management perception, like this gap arises when the management or the service provider does not correctly pursue or the study they does not correctly study what the consumer wants or the needs. When the management fails to understand the needs of the consumer, that time this gap arises. For instance, for example, hotel administrators may think guests want better food, or maybe they want a in-house restaurant facility. Okay, so they think that the hotel administrators, maybe the guest, the people who visit their restaurant, maybe they want better food, or maybe in-house restaurant facility, they think. But guest may be more concerned with the responsiveness of the staff, or maybe the cleanness of their rooms too, right? It is not only about the food or the food what they provide. And also guest may also have the concern with their health, and the cleanness, if should that a guest room that has to be hygiene, right? They always that also see. Okay, suppose if they don't understand the, if they fail to understand the customer need, then again this gap will be arise. So you should be very careful when you're understanding the needs of the consumer. Again, you not to understand, you not to study their you not to perceive their needs. So you have to go through the market research. Okay, you have to make the market research, and you should have a communication channels, and with these you can have the survey of the customer expectations too. And talking about the next gap, that is the difference between management perception of consumer expectations and service quality expectations. In simply I can say management perception versus quality specification. So here a gap between management perception and service quality specification. This is like when the management or the service provider might correctly perceive what the customer wants, but they may not set a performance standard. Okay, maybe they'll understand, they will, they'll study about the customer wants or customer needs, but they somewhere they fail to, maintain, somewhere they fail to set a benchmark or the standard, performance standard in their company. An example here, would be that, hospital administrators. Okay, here hospital administrators may tell the nurse to respond to a request fast, but they may not specify how fast. They will say that, okay, you have to respond them, you have to respond to a request very, to a fast, but they will not say that, you know they may not specify how fast. Okay, how much, where it should be a, quick response. Okay, so or maybe it is, it is not quick, or maybe delay respond. So you have to specify it. Okay, and here again the second gap, this, in the service quality framework, in the policy gap, here it is reflecting the difference between the management perception of customer expectations and the actual customer service specification. So here in this scenario, management may have an accurate understanding of customer expectations, but that understanding has not been, effectively implemented as operating policy. Here a specifics, specificity is the key here. For example, an expectation that the phone be answered in a timely manner is open to interactions, like is timely, two rings or three, or what if service personnel are already working with the customer. Okay, so for clarity and operational effectiveness, so policies should be here developed with the smart matlab specific, measurable and actionable, relevant and timely. Whatever you set the goal, you have to implement in a good way. You have to set the benchmark, okay, that has to meet the customers expectations. Okay, and talking about the next uh, gap, that is difference between service quality specification and the service actually delivered. In simply, I can say quality specification versus service delivery. Okay, here the gap between the service quality specification and the service delivery, this gap may arise in situations which is pertaining to the service personnel, and it could happen due to poor training, incapability, or unwillingness to meet the set service standard. Okay, so here you will be set the standard, but somewhere your employees they may fail to, um, meet that standard. Okay, they may fail to provide a good service. Maybe it is due to their poor training or incapability of, or an unwillingness to meet this, to to meet the set service standard. An example here would be when a doctor's office, okay, when a doctor's office has very specific standards of hygiene communicated, but the hired staff may have been poorly trained on the need to follow these strict protocols. Yes, suppose if in a if in a hospital, if the doctors are very standard and but the nurse over there, maybe they are not very much standard, maybe they are not having the proper communication, maybe they're not having the proper training system. Okay, even they cannot, follow the strict protocol, strict system, right? That is also here, as I told, third gap in the model is performance gap. Here reflecting the difference between the service quality specification and the service delivery. Here, given that a service is largely a function of human rather than robotic resources, right? So here I can say resources versus robotics. So here, if you set a standard, that is not enough, but you should have a good employees to deal with that. Okay, you can say that, okay, maybe when you adopt a something, some new system in your organization, okay, so you should, train your employees to deal with that first, right? When they deal with that, definitely they can have the good interaction with the customer, right? So you have to, if you set a standard, that is not enough, but you have to make your employees to be ready with the technology. Okay, so that is a third gap. And talking about the next gap, difference between the service delivery and what is communicated about the service to the consumer. Here, service delivery versus external communication, we can say. Here, gap between service delivery and external communication, which is something like consumer, and the consumer expectations are highly influenced by statements made by company representatives and advertisement. Okay, so their expectations are highly influenced by the statements which is made by the company representatives and the advertisement. So this the gap arises when these assumed expectations are not fulfilled at the time of delivery of the service. Example I can give you here, you can see the online shopping. Okay, so when you see online shopping, like while you're choosing the product, while you're buying the product in online, maybe in the advertisement, you can see that, okay, it has a good feature, you can see that it has a good color, it's something like a qualitative one. But when you actually get the product, right, you feel that it is not the same product what you have seen in the advertisement, what you have seen in the online shopping, right? So there will be a there, I can say, there will be a gap, right? Even similar to another thing, like if you have seen in the advertisement, maybe in the advertisement, if you take up any product, they will say about, they say that, okay, if you use the product, you'll become, you will have a good result. Like example, like fairness cream, if you they say that, okay, if you use this product, they say that, you will get a good result. Suppose when you actually buy the fairness cream, it doesn't work, right? So here, the expectations of what you have seen through advertisement or maybe from the company's this representative, that won't be the same when actually get the service. For example, a hospital printed on its brochure may have clean and furnished rooms, but in reality, it may be poorly maintained. Yes, in this case, the patient's expectations are not met. Yes, so maybe they say that, okay, in the hospital brochure, maybe in the advertisement, they say that, okay, this hospital has, is a hygiene and it has a very good standard. But when you actually visit, you feel that you may know, you feel that this hospital doesn't have the standard or the quality. Okay, and example also I can give you for colleges or maybe institutions. Okay, so when you see some advertisement regarding the institutions or the college, maybe education institutions, okay, so you feel that, okay, it will be good, but when you actually visit the college to, when you actually study there, then you feel that the standard what they have, it's not there, right? You will find some gap there. So you have some expectations when you see the brochure, but actually you will be disappointed when you actually get the service from that. Okay, so here you need to uh, understand that. Okay, here, as I told, the fourth gap in this model is communication gap, so reflecting difference between the level of service promised and what is received. Okay, the consumer expectations are shaped by the range of communication, which including the promotional advertising, websites, copy or photographs, and statements made by the company representatives. Here, this gap is commonly due to over promising or at the extreme or the false advertisement, I can say. Okay, so here, um, the classic under promise and over delivery is the advice way to avoid this gap. Okay, so you should not make any over promise, or you should not give any false information regarding the company's product. So only that time only when you can have the good communication, you can maintain the communication. So talking about the last gap, that is difference between consumer expectations and perception. Your gap between service and experienced service, we can say actual performance versus perceived service gap. Okay, here gap between expected service and the experienced service. This gap arises when the consumer misinterprets the service quality. Here, the physician may keep visiting the patient to show and ensure care, but the patient may interpret this as an indication that something is really wrong, right? So that is how maybe the physician or maybe doctor may keep visiting the patients to show and ensure that they are caring, but patient may interpret or may feel that this is an indication that something is really wrong. Okay, here that gap not supposed to be there. So here the fifth or the customer gap represents the overall difference between the customer expectations for and perception of the level of service received. Here this gap can occur due to the service issues from the gap 1 to gap 4, or can reflect on an error in the customer's judgment of the service what they have received. Here the customer's perception is influenced by a range of factors, which including personal experience or maybe needs, advertising, and the word of mouth. Okay, here for example, a customer may have experienced excellent service during a meal, but incorrect charges on the bill, or maybe any other problem at the next table. So even suppose maybe they have experience like some of your friend have told you that this particular restaurant is not good. Okay, or you may feel that the employees of that particular are very harsh. Okay, but when you actually visit there, you may feel that because of somebody has said, or maybe because you have seen that. Or maybe I can say, suppose if you go to a restaurant, maybe you are maybe sitting in the restaurant, or maybe some other customers, they may be fighting, or maybe the other employees will be fighting with the other customers, maybe because that customer has not paid the bill. Okay, so when you actually look at them, so you may feel that okay, here the employees are very harsh, or they are very harsh with the customer, but you really do not know the actual problem or the actual situation what they have. By just seeing there, you will have a person, I can say it's a personal judgment what you have. Okay, so by just looking at somebody's, then you will somebody's situations, you will say that okay, you will judge yourself that okay, this particular service is not good, or you might feel awkward. Okay, so that is what. Okay, here there will be a gap between the consumer expectations and the perceptions. Okay, it will again depend on the perceptions of the consumer. So here these are the two main important models, that a manager or the retailer has to understand. He has to adopt in their retail outlets to deliver the good customer service, so that they can maintain the customers for a long period of time, and also they can have the good bonding and the good relationship with the customer. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood, and thank you for you know listening this, and thank you for watching this. If you have any doubts, please post your comments below, and thank you.